I didn't touch my wife for 2 years, until I swallowed this thing raw right in front of her. You heard that right. What I ate was a raw oyster. Slippery. Cold. A little briny. But just 3 weeks later I felt my body coming back to life. In this video I'll tell you exactly what happened. Why raw oysters, a food most people associate with seafood platters, are actually known as nature's Viagra for men over 60. We'll dive into what's inside a single oyster that can spike your testosterone levels. Why eating it at the right time can reignite a desire that's been dormant for years. I'll also show you how to eat oysters the right way, safely, effectively, and without doing harm. And finally, I'll share a personal story, how I went from feeling completely shut down to suddenly back in the game, all thanks to just a few oysters a week. If you've ever quietly struggled with performance, connection, or just felt like your body isn't what it used to be, this video is for you. Because you'll see you don't need pills. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to feel ashamed. You just need to eat the right thing the right way and give it a little time. If what I share today helps you feel more like yourself again, hit subscribe to Senior Intimacy Secrets, so I can keep making videos for men over 60 who want to feel confident, alive, and close again. And if you've ever tried raw oysters, or if you're still unsure, leave a comment. I read them all. Now let's begin this story with a trip back in time. From Casanova eating 50 oysters every morning, to what modern science says about oysters and male intimacy. Why have raw oysters been called nature's Viagra for centuries? It's not just a modern myth that oysters can boost a man's performance. One of the most famous stories is about Casanova, the legendary Italian lover. It's said that every morning he ate 50 raw oysters to start his day. Not to stay healthy, but to have the energy for his daily romantic pursuits. People laugh and call it an exaggeration. But today science is starting to show that what Casanova did by instinct may have real biological truth behind it. Back in ancient Rome, oysters were considered a fertility food. In springtime banquets, wedding feasts, or rituals of rebirth, oysters were served raw. They believed oysters helped awaken a man's natural strength and drive. In ancient Chinese traditions, oysters were placed in the category of yang-enhancing foods. Men who were recovering from illness, dealing with sexual fatigue, or preparing for married life were all encouraged to eat oysters, raw if possible. For generations this was passed down as cultural wisdom. But in recent decades, modern science began to investigate what was really inside these strange, slippery shells. And the results were surprising. Oysters contain a powerful mix of nutrients that support testosterone production, improve blood flow, and naturally restore male sexual function. That's why today in upscale restaurants across Europe and the US, you'll often find oysters served as appetizers during romantic dinners. Nobody says it out loud. But there's an unspoken understanding. Oysters are the warm-up act for intimacy. For a man over 60, this isn't just playful tradition anymore. This is hope. Because when you feel yourself pulling away, when you don't feel that natural drive anymore, when the connection between you and your partner becomes distant, it's not just a physical problem. It hits your confidence. It touches the core of who you are. So when someone says, just eat a few oysters and you might feel it coming back, it's easy to doubt. But just like Casanova once tried, and just like thousands of years of tradition have preserved, many men today, in America, in Vietnam, around the world, are returning to oysters as a natural, quiet, powerful remedy. It's not about eating 50 every morning. It's about allowing your body the chance to respond, to rebuild. Yes, oysters look odd. They taste a little salty. They can make some people uncomfortable. But inside that shell, there's a message. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's just waiting for the right fuel. And sometimes that fuel is nothing more than a single raw oyster. What's inside an oyster that rebuilds male vitality? There are many foods out there claiming to improve male performance. But oysters aren't just hype. Their power is backed by real science. To understand why, Let's look at the three key groups of nutrients found in raw oysters, and how each of them impacts the male body, especially after age 60. First, zinc. Zinc is the building block of testosterone, the hormone that defines male energy, drive, and vitality. Naturally, testosterone peaks in the morning, but starting in your 30s it slowly declines. By the time you reach 60, your levels may drop to a third of what they used to be. And one major cause? Zinc deficiency. Zinc doesn't just boost testosterone. It also supports sperm production. It helps your testicles function properly. It keeps your desire alive. And most importantly, it helps restore firmness by supporting blood flow and triggering the right reflexes in your nervous system. When a man is low in zinc, he often feels tired. He may lose his drive, struggle with performance, produce fewer, weaker sperm, and even experience mild depression due to hormonal imbalance. If testosterone is the engine, then zinc is the oil that keeps it running. A medium-sized oyster contains about 5 to 7 milligrams of zinc. Just 2 or 3 oysters a day can meet your recommended intake, naturally and efficiently. Next, let's talk about taurine and amino acids. These compounds improve blood circulation. And when blood flows better, it benefits your heart, your brain, and yes, your intimacy. For older men, this is key. As blood vessels stiffen with age, circulation to critical areas becomes slower and weaker, which means less response when you need it most. Taurine also supports nerve function. It improves communication between your brain, your blood vessels, and your reflexes. In other words, when you want to respond, your body listens. Many men after 60 say they still love their partner, still feel emotional connection, but physically nothing happens. Taurine helps restore that natural reflex, gently, gradually, and effectively. Now let's talk about amino acids, especially arginine. Arginine stimulates nitric oxide production. This molecule opens up blood vessels and supports firmness. It's the exact same biological pathway that drugs like Viagra aim to activate. But oysters do it naturally, without pills, without side effects, and with long-term benefits if used consistently. Finally, don't overlook vitamins B12 and D. Oysters are rich in both. Vitamin B12 supports your nervous system. It boosts energy, helps you sleep deeper, think clearer. And when your mind is sharp, your body follows. B12 also helps your body convert food into energy so you feel stronger, more active, and more engaged even late in the day. Vitamin D, on the other hand, protects your prostate. This gland is vulnerable in older men. Inflammation, swelling, or even early-stage enlargement can cause discomfort, especially at night. But with enough vitamin D, those symptoms can ease. You sleep better, move easier, and feel more relaxed, which is critical for any form of intimacy. Vitamin D also improves how your body absorbs calcium and healthy fats. This, in turn, helps your body synthesize sex hormones. When you're low on vitamin D, you might feel sluggish, irritable, disconnected, and often not in the mood. Every one of these nutrients, zinc, taurine, amino acids, vitamin B12, and D, is found in a raw oyster. No pills, no powders, no hype. Just open the shell, squeeze a little lemon, and let your body absorb exactly what it's been missing. This is why oysters are called nature's Viagra. They won't hit you like a lightning bolt, but they quietly rebuild what's been fading. Your blood flow, your reflexes, your confidence. And if you give your body the chance, the oyster will do the rest. How to eat raw oysters safely and effectively. It's not just about eating oysters. And it's definitely not about eating as many as possible. For men over 60, the real key is knowing how to eat them, properly and safely. First, you need to buy the right oysters. Always choose fresh, raw oysters from a reputable source. If you live near the coast, visit a trusted seafood market. If not, go to a major grocery store or specialty seafood shop. Ask the seller. Are they stored at the right temperature? When were they harvested? Are they farmed or wild caught under proper safety standards? Raw oysters can carry bacteria if mishandled, so don't take shortcuts. Once you've got them, rinse the outer shells thoroughly. Use a brush to scrub off mud, sand, or seaweed. Then shuck them carefully. Keep the natural seawater inside. It holds trace minerals your body needs. The classic way to eat them is simple. Squeeze a little lemon juice on the oyster. Wait 20 seconds. The acidity gently kills surface bacteria. Then slurp it straight from the shell. You can also pair it with a dash of apple cider vinegar, fresh ginger, or a drop of mustard. Some men like a pinch of chopped chili for extra kick, but go easy. Too much heat masks the natural flavor and might upset your stomach. Timing matters too. Eat oysters when you're slightly hungry, not full, not starving. Mid-morning or mid-afternoon is ideal. When your stomach is settled, your body absorbs zinc and amino acids more efficiently. And you'll notice the effect. A mild heat rising through your chest. A sharper focus. A quiet sense of energy returning from within. How much should you eat? Just 2 to 4 oysters per serving. No more. 2 to 3 times a week is enough to maintain good levels of zinc, taurine, and vitamins. Men at this age don't need a big dose. Just consistency. And wisdom. Because real strength doesn't come from taking more. It comes from doing it right, over time. That said, not everyone should eat raw oysters. If you have a weakened immune system, from cancer treatment, recent surgery, or immune-suppressing medications, consult your doctor first. Even the cleanest oyster may carry trace amounts of Vibrio bacteria. It won't harm a healthy person, but for someone vulnerable it could be dangerous. If you have chronic liver disease, especially cirrhosis, you also need to be cautious. The liver filters toxins. When it's damaged, any foodborne bacteria become a real threat. If you've ever had a seafood allergy, to shrimp, crab, or fish, avoid raw oysters altogether. Unless cleared by a doctor. Shellfish allergies can trigger swelling, rashes, even severe shock. And if you're taking antibiotics or blood thinners, don't eat oysters within a few hours of your medication. Some minerals in oysters may interfere with how your body absorbs certain drugs. But if you're healthy, no allergies, no liver problems, no serious conditions, then oysters may be just what your body has been waiting for. The experience is unique. It's not chewy like shrimp, not rubbery like squid. Soft, cool. It melts in your mouth. And if you really pay attention, you'll feel something. A wave. Starting at your throat, flowing through your chest, then gently moving lower. It's not in your head. It's your body waking up, getting what it's been missing. Stick with it. 2 or 3 times a week. Just a few oysters. In a month, you won't just notice the difference. You'll feel in control again, connected again, and maybe more like yourself than you've felt in years. A real story. At 68, I started again with oysters. I'm 68 years old. I've been retired for a few years now. At first, it felt good. No deadlines, no work stress, no more pressure to prove myself. But after a while, I began to feel invisible. To my grandkids, I was the fun old man. To my neighbors, I was the guy who took morning walks. But to my wife, I felt like a quiet roommate. We still loved each other. We still cared. But for more than 2 years, we hadn't been physically close. It wasn't that I didn't want to. I just didn't know how to start again. I tried some pills before, over-the-counter stuff. But they made my head pound and my heart race. So I gave up. Then one weekend I went on a short trip with some old friends. That's when I tried raw oysters for the first time. I didn't plan to. Honestly, I found them slimy and strange. But one of my buddies grinned and said, "Try one." Not for the taste, but because maybe this is what your body's been waiting for. I laughed, swallowed one, and thought nothing more of it. But by the second week, something shifted. I started waking up with more energy. I didn't need coffee to feel alert. My back didn't ache as much. And something else started happening. My little guy, as I jokingly call him, started showing signs of life. At first it was just a light tingle. Then each morning a stronger response. As if blood was finally flowing again, to places I thought had gone quiet for good. After about a month of eating oysters regularly, maybe 3 times a week, 3 oysters each time, I decided to try something I had avoided for over 2 years. I reached for my wife. I didn't say anything. I simply wrapped my arms around her from behind while she was reading. She turned to me surprised. She didn't speak. She just held me for a long time. That night we made love, for the first time in over 2 years. No pressure. No awkwardness. No medication. Just something natural. Familiar. And finally present again. Later, when I told her about the oysters, she burst out laughing. "I thought you were just overeating," she said. "I didn't know you were quietly staging a comeback." I laughed too. But deep down it wasn't about the food. I wasn't eating oysters because I was hungry. I was eating them because I wanted to feel like a man again. To feel in control. To feel capable. To be close to the woman I love, not out of duty but because of real desire. I won't say oysters are magic, but they were my starting point. They reminded me that my body hadn't given up. It was just waiting for a signal. And I gave it one, with every oyster I ate every week, with quiet patience and steady hope. Why oysters are nature's Viagra, a better alternative to pills. When men over 60 think about improving their performance, most go straight to one solution: Viagra. A small blue pill. Big promises. Fast results. Take it 30 to 60 minutes before the moment, and the body responds. Many call it a miracle of modern medicine. And yes, Viagra works. But here's the real question. Where does that effect come from? How long does it last? And is it something you want to depend on for the rest of your life? Viagra works by blocking an enzyme called PDE5. That enzyme usually tightens your blood vessels. Viagra relaxes them, letting blood flow into the right place at the right time. But it doesn't increase testosterone. It doesn't build stamina. It doesn't bring back real desire. It just triggers a surface-level response. That's why many men feel side effects. Fast heart rate, headaches, facial flushing, even chest discomfort. These aren't healing signs, they're warnings. Your body is being pushed, not supported. And then comes the trap. Dependency. Once you rely on just one pill to fix it, you start losing your inner sense of control. Confidence fades. The performance is no longer yours, it belongs to the pill. And if the pill stops working, panic sets in. I'm not saying Viagra has no place. It's helped millions of men break through mental and physical barriers. But it's not a long-term solution. It won't rebuild your identity. It won't make you feel like a man again, from the inside out. Oysters, on the other hand, work differently. They don't act overnight. You won't see magic after one serving. But when you eat them the right way, regularly, something begins to change. Oysters help your body naturally increase testosterone. No forcing. No artificial boost. Just steady supply of the right nutrients so your body can heal itself. That's what makes oysters so powerful. They don't just improve erections. They restore real desire. They enhance sperm quality, improve sleep, balance your mood, and rebuild the emotional bond with your partner, without the pill, without the pressure. And you don't have to do it alone. If you combine oysters with a few small daily habits, the benefits multiply. In the morning, go for a light walk. 15 to 20 minutes. No running. Just steady movement, deep breaths, and daylight. This simple activity improves blood flow and helps testosterone release throughout the day. Then add some squats. Just 10 or 15 bodyweight reps a few times a week. Squats engage the muscles that trigger testosterone production. Next, sleep. Testosterone is built at night, during deep sleep. Stay up too late and you interrupt that process. Aim for sleep by 11 p.m. Dark room. Quiet. No screens. And finally, limit alcohol. Drinking too much damages blood vessels. Drops testosterone. and dulls your reflexes. If you're investing in oysters, don't let alcohol undo your effort. Cut it back. Or cut it out. Put this all together and something shifts. You won't feel forced. You won't be guessing. You'll know your body is listening again. No more panic. No more pills. No more pressure to perform. Just natural confidence. Real control. And deep connection that comes from you. And remember, Viagra might help you for one night, but oysters can bring you back for an entire month. Why real men over 60 eat raw oysters? Nature's Viagra. There's something many men over 60 think about, but rarely say out loud. That they're not who they used to be. That their body has changed. That intimacy feels distant, like a part of life that quietly faded away. But the real danger isn't the physical decline. It's the silence. It's pretending everything's fine. It's thinking you just have to accept it and carry on. Let me be clear, you don't. Don't let age convince you to live on autopilot. Don't assume your time has passed. Don't believe you've lost your edge as a man. Because your body, even at 60, 70 or older, still remembers who you are. It still holds the instinct. It still has the power to respond, if you send it the right signal. And sometimes that signal is as simple as a few oysters a week. Natural healing isn't slow. It just takes consistency. And belief. Belief that your manhood never really disappeared, it just went quiet. Waiting for you to wake it up, the right way. And one of the simplest, most natural ways to do that is through a single meal. Raw oysters are a powerful source of zinc. Zinc boosts testosterone. It restores energy. It brings back real desire, not just a reaction but something deeper and more alive. No pills. No pressure. No pretending. Just a quiet reminder of what it means to feel like a man, again. If you've tried oysters before, I'd love to hear from you. What changed after a week? 2 weeks? How did your body start to respond? And if you haven't tried them yet, maybe today is your sign. If this video speaks to you in any way, leave a comment. I read every single one. Not because I'm curious, but because I want to walk this road with other men like you. Men who are ready to reclaim what age tried to take. Subscribe to this channel if you want more honest, real conversations like this. And if you know someone, a friend, a brother, a father, who needs to hear this, send it to them. They may not ask for help, but they might be waiting for someone to start the conversation. I'll leave you with just one final thought. Whether you're 60, 70, or 80 years old, your manhood is not gone. It's just waiting for you to call it back the right way.